Police officers protect us from the evil people out there, but what if they turn out to be one among them? Today, we are going to reveal 3 female police officers who became the most wanted criminals and committed the unthinkable. Who are these female police officers? What did they do? Rose Valentino was a highly skilled police officer who had shown her immense dislocation and hard work towards her occupation in the police service. But an incident threw her off from her good record track and cut her name forever from the Cincinnati police officer list.
She said she became angry after a teenage student gave her the middle finger when she was over at Western Hills High School.
She was a star looked upon by her fellow officers. Her appearance in the TLC reality tube show gained her several fans. She had a positive attitude and was on good terms with most of the people she came across. On April 5, 2022, Rose Valentino was on duty and was driving her police car. She was heading to the district police station to hand over a report when she noticed disturbing traffic caused by many cars parked near Western Hills University High School. She was in the driveway and found it very difficult to drive as these cars were linked up before her as an obstacle. Even though she was in no hurry, she became very furious and switched on her sirens and light. The people who were in the cars were the parents of the students studying in the high school. They all came to pick up their children after school hours. Rose Valentino was aware of the situation, but she couldn't control her anger. She started being verbally angry and demanding they move their cars. Her window was down and she started yelling at the people to move their cars and provide her with a way out. A black male student was fossa pointed with the furious behaviors of Rose Valentino Demguille. He put up his middle finger. This was spotted by those, and she became even more furious. She reached a stage where she was no longer in control of her emotion. She started verbally abusing the boy by speaking mean words. She then started shouting the N-word, and this was heard by the crowd. Her frustration was due to the long lines of traffic and the ignorance shown by the people who did not move their cars. The incident was known to the public as it was recorded by the board camera in her car. Otherwise, she would have escaped the situation way before. As it was a recorded incident and primary evidence is there, actions had to be taken against her. The white police officer uses racial slurs against a high school student. This was the heading that covered all the newspapers and media. Rose Valentino was the one who claimed that the student showed her the middle finger. She has no evidence to prove her claim. Her board camera only recorded her racial slurs and aggressive behaviors. The student was not even visible in the board camera. Her claims will not stand on their own in court. She needs to prove it with evidence. As we look into the matter, we understand that Western Hills University High School is primarily filled with black students. Around 70% of the classroom strength is occupied by black students, was the interim police officer, and she thoroughly checked the circumstances and reason for Rose to lead up to get sort of character. City officials approved the recommendation of Teresa. Rose Valentino no longer enjoyed her role in the police service. The Cincinnati Police Department did not want a person like Rose Valentino to work for them. The next story is about Megan Hall, a patrol officer of LaVergne. Her story would shock you forever. 4 officers got suspended along with Megan Hall for engaging in sexual acts during service. Juan Lugo Piers, Lewis Powell, Seneca Shields, and Henry T. McGowan were the 4 police officers who got the suspension. What did they do? What were the offenses they committed? Patrick Magliocco, Larry Holliday, and Gavin Schuberl were faced with immediate suspension. Jason Cole, LaVergne's mayor, received information that Megan was having several affairs in her department. An investigation was conducted to find out the truth. Magliocco was the first to admit to having sex with her, and she even kissed his wife after discovering that he had an open marriage. Since the spring of 2022, Magliocco and his wife was engaging in sexual acts with Hall. They were even caught by her husband, but were not accused of anything severe. Powell was married when he had oral sex with Megan while on duty. He came to know that Hall had multiple partners, and this led him to confess his doings to his wife and come clean before her. Seneca Shields was the difficult one among these police officers, as he denied having any kind of sexual relation with Hall. When investigated further, he revealed that they were engaged in oral sex at the department's gym. They did these acts while being on duty. Holliday said that once he invited his fellow officers to his home, and they were all heavily drunk, but nothing happened in his home. Then, later on, he admitted to meeting Hall in hotel rooms and enhancing in sexual acts with her. McGowan had visited Hall's place along with his female friends, and they exposed their genitals before Hall. The Memorial Day hot tub party was the incident that led to the revelation of this major scandal. Officer Stats posted the video where they were all having fun. Magliocco forced Hall to drink vodka, and Hall was heavily intoxicated. She was unable to think in her right mind, and she took her top off at the party. Officer Durham was with Hall enjoying the pool when she showed her breasts to everyone. Stats tried to cover her up and protect her from future embarrassment. As the investigation went deeper, Hall was asked about all these accusations. She denied every one of them and said that she did not have any kind of sexual relations with the men in her department. She said that she had a relationship with Holliday. Apart from that, she did not have any kind of malicious relationships. She revealed that she had sent revealing images to the officers. She admits that she had a sexual relationship with Powell and Perez. Lugo was in denial that he had any kind of relationship with Hall. At the end of the investigation, the scandal was sealed by firing Hall, Lugo, Powell, Shields, and McGowan. Holliday, Magliocco, and Achieved were faced with a suspension due to their relationship with Hall. 26 February 1996 was the day this brutal murder happened. The daughter of Dr. Nels Rasmussen was murdered in Los Angeles. Before being murdered, Sherry felt stalked for a long time, and she informed her father about her concerns about being stalked. Stephanie J. Lazarus was the person who stalked Sherry. Sherry's father was desperately trying to bring out her murderer before the court, but police tried to close the case by putting it under the category of robbery. Many said that the police tried to cover up the murder and redirect it as they didn't want to lose one of their own. Why would Stephanie murder Sherry? What was the motive? Well, it's a love triangle. John, the husband of Sherry, was in love with Stephanie before he got married to Sherry. Stephanie was head over heels in love with John, but they could not get married to each other. They were in ULA together and celebrated their love for each other with the batch of '92, but their on and off relationship did not survive much. John met Sherry shortly after he ended things with Stephanie. Sherry was working at the Glendale Adventist Medical Center and was a sweetheart. He soon fell for her and asked her hands for marriage. Stephanie thought he lost John forever, but John decided to hook up with her for one last time. They had a secret relationship and no one knew about it. John later on ended things as soon as he got officially married in 1996, but Stephanie became emotionally locked in. Stephanie took her gun and shot Sherry to death in her house. John and left the place. The police officers couldn't find the murderer, but later on, they found out after 23 years through DNA tests. Do you think Stephanie killed Sherry? Is jealousy strong enough to kill a human being? Let us know in the comments.
In this case, a Good Samaritan's act of helping a crash victim resulted in his arrest by a police officer, leading to a significant lawsuit settlement. On September 22, 2019, Preston Sal and his companions came across an injured man trapped under a crashed motorcycle in Loveland, California. Mr. Sal and others rushed to assist the victim while emergency services were called. Officer Paul Ash from the Loveland Police Department arrived on the scene and began questioning Mr. Sal about the incident. Although Mr. Sal cooperated and provided information, Officer Ash insisted on further questioning and asked him to step away from the scene. However, Mr. Sal exercised his right to remain silent and refused to speak to Officer Ash as he was not a witness to the incident. Officer Ash, without legal authority, threatened Mr. Sal with arrest for obstruction if he continued to refuse. Under Colorado law, Mr. Sal's actions did not constitute obstruction.
Where is the bike at?
Bike's parked down
The
on
blue
the
one?
side. Yeah, the blue one there.
Officer Ash proceeded to forcefully restrain Mr. Sal, leading to physical altercation resulting in severe injuries, including a dislocated shoulder, a fractured collarbone, and a torn rotator cuff. Despite knowing that Mr. Sal had no involvement in moving the motorcycle, Officer Ash still insisted on questioning and arresting him.
Okay, you might come and talk to me?
I don't know what happened.
Well, you pulled the
I'm
bike
not
off
talking
him.
to nobody.
Really?
These guys saw what happened. I did
Okay,
not
if you're not talking anyway, you can leave.
Well, you can leave.
No.
You're dismissed.
We
No.
can't leave.
You We can't leave. I'm not leaving.
Okay, then come and talk to me.
No, I'm not going to come talk to you.
After the incident, Officer Ash's body camera footage revealed that another bystander had moved the motorcycle.
I'm not going to come talk to you.
Police officer, man. Just...
I know.
Did you
but I'm
pull
not
the
gonna come
bike?
talk
Did
to
you
him.
pull the bike
I'm not
off
gonna
him?
come talk to
Okay,
him.
Did you pull the bike off him?
I did not.
Okay. You just told me you did.
Nothing to do with me.
Okay, you're free to leave.
Yeah, you're free to leave.
Confirming Mr. Sal's innocence. Paramedics on the scene examined Mr. Sal and recommended his immediate transfer to the hospital. He later underwent shoulder replacement surgery and experienced persistent pain.
What's his name?
Preston.
Preston what? You got an ID on your box? I'm gonna need an ID now. Okay. 177. I got an uncooperative witness. Come on over here.
Right.
I need to talk to you.
Constitutional right. No,
I don't
want to talk to you.
You have to talk
I don't
to
want
me.
to talk. No, I don't.
Following the incident, Mr. Sal filed a lawsuit against the officers involved, alleging violations of his constitutional rights. The city of Loveland acknowledged that Officer Ash had violated department policies, but did not disclose any disciplinary actions taken against the officers.
I don't have to talk to anybody.
Okay, either
I don't
you're gonna
have to
sit
talk to
here and
anybody.
talk to me,
No.
we'll just have a short
No,
conversation,
No.
or I'm gonna
I
arrest
don't
you
have
for
to.
obstruction.
No, you're not. I'm not obstructing
You
anything. You're right here.
Okay.
I'm not obstructing that.
Sir, yourself, you need to talk to me.
I don't
You're
need to talk.
obstructing an investigation.
I'm not obstructing
You are
anything.
under arrest for
I'm
obstruction.
not
and for
obstructing.
resisting.
I want to talk to your fucking supervisor.
You're here?
Yeah.
I need statements from the guy in the blue plaid shirt,
Okay.
the guy in the black Eagles thing.
Okay.
He was the one who moved his bike over there, or was moving
And
it.
the Eagles jersey moved it over there.
Yep.
Okay. The ambulance ain't taking me.
Nope. Since you're in custody, you're gonna go looking. Okay.
Well, I don't
So
know
here's-
why I'm in custody.
Well,
but
So here's what we're gonna do, okay?
resist. I'm not going
Okay.
anywhere.
Perfect.
I'm
So,
not doing
so,
anything.
so let me explain to you what we're gonna do, okay?
Good, man. My shoulder's fucked up. There's no reason to be slammed to the ground. That's all I know.
So let me explain to you what we're gonna do, okay?
Good, man. My shoulder's fucked up. There's no reason to be slammed to the ground. That's all I know.
In January 2021, Mr. Al's excessive force lawsuit was settled for $290,000. However, no recorded action was reported against the officers involved, and the city stated that the settlement did not imply an admission of guilt. This case highlights the unjust arrest and excessive force used against an innocent individual who was simply trying to help a crash victim. Despite the lawsuit settlement, questions remain regarding the accountability and disciplinary measures for the officers involved in the incident. Now let's move on to our next case. In this case, a man was arrested for wearing his motorcycle helmet inside a Walmart store, leading to a subsequent lawsuit. On August 6, 2019, Freedom Christopher Fandler rode his motorcycle to a Walmart in Swaharita, Arizona. He entered the store without removing his helmet and was listening to music through wireless headphones. A store manager attempted to get his attention but failed. The manager then called 911, considering Mr. Fandler's behavior suspicious. Meanwhile, Mr. Fandler continued shopping and was approached by 3 officers from the Swaharita Police Department. They demanded his ID without explaining the situation. Initially, Mr. Fandler didn't respond due to his earphones, but he eventually complied. He provided his ID and asked the officers what was happening. The officers claimed that the store manager had asked Mr. Fandler to remove his helmet, which he allegedly ignored. Mr. Fandler explained he kept his helmet on for convenience and provided proof of his purchases with a receipt. While reviewing CCTV footage, it became evident that the store's manager claims were inaccurate. He had approached Mr. Fandler only twice and from a distance, contradicting his earlier assertions.
Hey, bud, you got an ID on you? You have the ID on you.
Nevertheless, Officer John George confronted Mr. Fandler in an unnecessary aggressive manner, threatening him and violating his First Amendment right to free speech.
Yeah, man. That's going on. Take your helmet off while you're walking around in the store and you're just ignoring it.
Do me a favor, take your helmet off. You're not gonna speak with us with your helmet on.
Okay. Let's take your helmet off.
Sorry? Would you make a purchase?
Mr. Fandler chose to remain silent after Officer George's behavior.
So he said that he had music playing in his helmet.
I walked right up to the flag up top of you right now. Stood right there.
Okay. So did you see the manager basically walk up right to your face and ask you to take off your helmet? I did not see that.
I saw him talking, but he's got a headset on.
Standing right next to you. Right next to you. I came up and I said, sir,
I thought you were going this way. I didn't hear
I
you.
said, stop. I followed you halfway throughout the store. Stop.
Let me ask you something. What's the purpose of keeping the helmet on?
It's just faster to get to work, man. Like I said, I'm going to work.
Where do you work at?
Work at Jim Click. Right
Okay.
there.
So you walk through the store. What'd you buy?
I bought a sandwich, a Gatorade, 2 peaches, a scrubber, 4 pens, a toothbrush.
Despite his silence, the officers and store manager continued questioning Mr. Fandler. Eventually, the officers arrested him for disorderly conduct, and he was detained for over 17 hours before the charges were dropped.
I couldn't
So you
find a basket.
keep the helmet on. You walk around.
Yeah, I do that.
grab
at
all
the
this
Safeway,
stuff.
I go to the other Safeway. I go fries. Except for when I go to the bank, I've never had any issues where I was like, take it off, or a sign saying that you need to have it off. And like I said,
That's why the manager asked you to take it off.
Like I said, I didn't hear him. I had music playing.
Okay.
You didn't see him standing right in front of you.
I saw you there, and then I saw you talk, but like again, you have the headset on, so
I can't put my hands on you to get your attention. I'm standing right next to you.
I didn't.
Just like I'm standing
I
here with
didn't
the
see
officer.
you come next to me.
I stood right in front of you, just like I'm standing here. I said, I need you to stop and listen to me. You totally ignored me and kept walking.
Mr. Fandler filed a lawsuit against the Samarita Police Department, alleging illegal search, false arrest, malicious prosecution, and defamation. Initially, Mr. Fandler offered to settle the case for $250,000, which was rejected.
Stop yourself, okay?
You're an argumentative person, and I am not the person you want to argue with. You need to take your hand and you need to go like this and pull your head out of your ass. Okay? Because you're walking around in the store hiding your face. There's shooters that go on all over the place. This man comes up to you and you want to play. You got a little Senna headpiece going on that you can't stop. You need to listen to learn, not listen to reply. You need to turn that little switch off in your brain that you want to run your mouth and argue every time somebody tells you something. Because this is disturbing the peace. You can go to jail and not go to work. So what's the choice you're going to make, hardhead?
The town of Samarita and the police department denied any wrongdoing and planned to dismiss the lawsuit.
You gonna quit walking around businesses with a helmet on, scaring the hell out of people to where you got massive cops all over the place, rifles outside waiting for a shooter to come out? Laugh. But that's where we're at. So pull your head out of your ass and quit arguing every time somebody tells you something.
I'm
telling you, look at what you're doing. You keep wanting to argue with me. I'm not the guy you want to argue with.
Wasn't trying to argue.
That's why you keep talking. Stop talking.
Okay, fine.
Officer George was later fired for unrelated reasons. However, Mr. Fandler's attorney refiled the lawsuit, aiming to obtain justice and rectify this practice.
I was gonna say if they want to trespass.
I don't want to trespass on the whole thing.
Okay, so officially being trespassed from the store, don't come back to Walmart. Come back to Walmart, manager, anyone sees you, you get arrested for that. How many times did you ask him to leave?
At least once. Just like he's ignoring you. I walk half the store with you, following him right to the side to ask him. After I told many times that the officers were coming out, you just kept walking.
I would say so. That's the next question. Why not?
So,
Especially the current behavior.
You asked me about all these stores 5 or 6 times. Walk right next to him, just like I'm walking right now.
You're under arrest for trespassing. You were told to leave the store, and you didn't want to go.
Take my jacket off.
No, I want you to leave your jacket on.
As of the present, the outcome of the lawsuit is still pending. The case highlights the infringement of Mr. Fandler's rights and the potential consequences of false arrest based on misunderstandings. In September 2014, a concerning incident unfolded during a police accountability march in Lynn, Massachusetts, shedding light on officers allegedly breaking the law while being captured on camera. The incident was documented by Ms. Bay, the founder of the Bay State Examiner, an independent media source focused on police interactions and accountability. While attending the march, Ms. Bay noticed an undercover police officer trailing the protest in an unmarked vehicle. Seeking accountability, she approached the officer to request his name and badge number. In a startling turn of events, the officer reportedly hit her with his vehicle.
Howdy. Sorry to bother again. Oh, hey!
Can I have your IDs?
Uh,
You guys quality of IDs. Pardon me? I need quality of IDs.
What's the lawful reason for the request?
Because you're on private property. I'll get it.
I'm on private property and you get to see my
In the
ID.
back lot.
You were on private property, you asked to leave, you took your time. I need your IDs.
IDs?
can I have yours?
I don't have one on me.
Oh, okay.
Well, go to the chief. We are.
Sure.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Can we speak to the chief? This officer has invited us to speak with him.
This incident prompted Miss Bay to take matters into her own hands. Days later, Miss Bay ventured to the Lynn Police Station's back lot in pursuit of evidence regarding the vehicle that had allegedly struck her. Her efforts were met with resistance from an unidentified officer who swiftly expelled her from the premises. Undeterred, she entered the police department building to file a formal complaint about the incident and to seek officer identifications. The encounter within the police station would go on to raise a myriad of legal and ethical concerns. The situation escalated when the officers on duty refused to identify themselves and labeled Miss Bay's presence as trespassing on private property. Massachusetts law, however, stipulates that police officers are required to carry identification cards and display them upon a lawful request. This refusal constituted a violation of this legal obligation.
You're welcome
What
to come
sense?
back there and take a look after.
Okay. Oh, after? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
But we need your IDs now.
I'm not interested in showing that at this
No?
I'm not. Yeah.
All right, so you guys are refusing? All right, then we'll just leave. You can go. Do we want to check the...
Yeah, I was going to say, you've invited us to speak with the
Chief's
chief.
a busy guy.
Oh.
You just suggested we talk to the chief.
Well,
Yeah, but I guess apparently he's not...
I'm sorry, what's...
He just told you to do that, right?
No, you told us to talk to the chief.
Yeah, and you came around here and he's not coming down here.
Oh, right.
So maybe you should call him and make an appointment with him.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. We can do that.
And may I have both of your names and ID
That's
cards?
Badge 88.
Badge 88.
Badge 88?
Yep.
The officers ordered Miss Bay to vacate the premises, accusing her of creating a disturbance and trespassing. In response, she asserted her right to continue recording for news-gathering purposes. A crucial distinction emerged. While Massachusetts acknowledges the right to record police, this right is not absolute and must adhere to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions that safeguard officer safety, informants, and victims. The incident also underscored the nuanced relationship between the First Amendment and trespassing laws. While Ms. Bay's intent to file a complaint justified her presence to some extent, officers claimed she was trespassing and sought to remove her from the building. Legal precedents highlighted the complexity of these issues, including the right to record police versus the limitations imposed on such activities within police stations.
Not with you. Who do I make a complaint with?
The chief's the best guy.
The chief's the best guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So make an appointment.
Okay.
What's up with that? What is it that you're looking for?
Well, I found the car that hit me on Friday. I was reporting it earlier. It's out back.
Okay, and what are you doing going in private property videotaping police cars?
What private property?
The property that's parked out back there posted as no trespassing, authorized personnel only.
I didn't see that.
Well, it's posted all over the entrances to that parking lot.
Interesting.
It is interesting, but it is also posted.
Okay.
You're subject to arrest for going back into private property.
Am I being arrested?
Police cars. Huh?
Am I being arrested?
I said you are subject to arrest.
Okay.
Despite these legal complexities, officers' conduct raised questions about their intentions and commitment to accountability. Their refusal to take Ms. Bay's claims seriously and their hindrance of her ability to file a complaint cast doubts on their willingness to engage transparently with civilian concerns. The encounter raised concerns about the potential misuse of laws to deter individuals from lodging complaints against law enforcement officers. In the aftermath of the incident, Ms. Bay submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the Lynn's Record Department.
The officer in charge will be out with you when he gets a second. He'll
Okay.
talk to you and get your complaint.
Well, somebody does need to tell
Okay.
him that that's what's going
Well,
on.
if he's
because
already done that, then your complaint has been filed and documented.
There's information that he literally doesn't have because I didn't have it until right now. When I went back, I found the car. So I would like to tell him that the car is back there, that it's been repaired, even though they didn't report it, I guess. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm filming this for news gathering purposes at this point.
Yet her efforts were met with resistance, and it remains uncertain whether the department ever responded to her request. Her documentation of the event and her subsequent efforts to highlight the challenges faced by citizens seeking accountability and transparency within law enforcement agencies. Now let's move on to the next investigation. In a noteworthy incident that unfolded on June 5, 2015, the spotlight fell on Michael Hoffman, a private investigator and an advocate for the First Amendment. The scenario took place in Jacksonville, Florida, as Hoffman engaged in conducting surveillance as part of a case. His objective was to track down an individual's movements and actions across multiple locations. However, the situation took an unexpected turn when the person under surveillance alleged that Hoffman was stalking her.
Can I ask why you pulled me over, sir?
I pulled you over because the young ladies came over there and said you've been following her since she left the airport yesterday. So I want to know who you are.
Have I committed a crime?
No, but I'm conducting an investigation. Have you been following that young lady? I mean, if you're an investigator, investigate what? But if you're somebody harassing her or stalking her, that's against the law. Me pulling you over to find out who you are is me doing my job.
Am I free to go?
No, you are not. Not until I find out who you are. I'm conducting an investigation. Do you have your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance on you?
Have you pulled me for a traffic violation, sir?
No, sir. I've already explained that to you. Now you can play the back and forth rigmarole.
This accusation prompted a response from law enforcement, specifically an officer from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. The encounter between Hoffman and the officer was marked by a clash of rights and principles. As the officer initiated a traffic stop, the interaction was captured on camera and later disseminated on the Awakening the Masses YouTube channel. The video depicted the exchange as the officer sought to ascertain the veracity of the stalking claim. He engaged Hoffman in conversation, asking about his identity, purpose, and whether he was an investigator. Hoffman's response was calculated and assertive. He began by asking the officer the reason for pulling him over, which initiated a dialogue regarding the stalking allegation. The officer cited the complainant's assertion that Hoffman had been tailing her since previous day. Despite Hoffman's protestations, the officer deemed it necessary to investigate the matter. He explained that his actions were guided by the need to ascertain whether Hoffman was involved in harassing or stalking behavior, which is legally prohibited.
Oh, tell him to come up here. We're at the 8100 block of Arlington Express.
I don't answer questions, Deputy.
You don't answer questions. You just stalk young ladies. Just stand by this. Stand by.
Your name and badge number, Deputy? Your name and badge number, Deputy?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Name and badge number, sir?
Simpson 66190.
Masinson, M-A-S-I-N-S-I-N. Sir, I'd like to know why I'm being detained.
No, someone's saying that you're claiming you're stalking her. Are you an investigator or anything?
Okay, let me make this clear, sir. I would like for you to articulate what crime you...
The crux of the disagreement hinged on the rights invoked by Hoffman. When the officer requested identification, Hoffman invoked his Fifth Amendment rights, a constitutional privilege against self-incrimination. This assertion caused a pivotal shift in the interaction, as Hoffman insisted he would only speak in the presence of legal counsel. The officer, seemingly perplexed by this response, requested that Hoffman bring his attorney to the scene for further questioning. Hoffman's stance was rooted in legal principles. He argued that during a Terry stop, law enforcement could pose a limited number of questions to establish identity and to determine if any suspicions were valid. However, Hoffman remained steadfast in asserting that he was under no obligation to answer questions without the presence of legal representation, especially considering the potential implications of his responses. The officer's actions were grounded in the assumption that a stalking accusation, combined with a corroborated vehicle description, constituted reasonable suspicion for a stop and investigation. This view aligned with legal precedent, exemplified by the 2002 case of United States v. Sokolow, which allows law enforcement to act on a tip if it bears indicia of reliability. The Supreme Court has ruled that reasonable suspicion necessitates a particularized and objective basis for suspecting wrongdoing. Despite the differing interpretations, the encounter eventually concluded with the officer permitting Hoffman to leave. The tension between rights and responsibilities underscored the complexity of police-citizen interactions.
Some professional courtesy and treat me with the respect I deserve. What is your name and badge number?
Well, here's sir. I gave you mine. 0051.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Deputy. Was that so hard? No. The law states I don't have to give my name and information unless you suspect me of committing a crime.
You don't.
Then am I free to go? Because this is an illegal detainment.
At this time.
This is an illegal detainment.
But like I said, your criminal matches the description we were given.
I respect
Doesn't
that.
mean
I respect
you're guilty.
That. I respect that. You're talking to an ex-law enforcement officer, buddy. Now, I understand you're doing no fault with that. You are doing your job.
Okay.
And the mere fact that I'm exercising my legal rights does not make...
Shedding light on the importance of understanding legal rights during such encounters. Hoffman's case emphasized that individuals have the right to remain silent and request legal counsel during a Terry stop, while officers must balance their duty to investigate with the requirement to respect constitutional rights. The incident became a case study in navigating the delicate balance between law enforcement's duty to investigate and an individual's rights to privacy and legal protection. As the video disseminated, it sparked discussions about the scope of police authority during stops, the validity of accusations, and the intricacies of the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination. Michael Hoffman's assertiveness in upholding his rights and the officer's attempts to fulfill his duty encapsulated a pivotal moment in the ongoing dialogue about law enforcement practices and individual freedoms. Now let's take a look at the next investigation. In April 2020, a situation involving Keelan Hill and Denver police officers unfolded after a minor traffic incident on Interstate 25 in Colorado. The incident escalated into legal disputes, allegations of rights violations, and concerns over police conduct. The episode began when Keelan Hill, age 25, called 911 after a minor collision with two other drivers. Officer Thomas Ludwig of the Denver Police Department arrived at the scene and initiated discussions with the other individuals involved while Hill was being evaluated by paramedics inside an ambulance. The situation took a turn when Hill exited the ambulance and noticed Officer Ludwig searching his vehicle without consent.
What are you doing? Stepping to me? Huh? What the f is in my face? What do you think so, dude? What is this? Oh, what am I? What the?
What are you stopping the cops for, man?
I did not ask you to get
no,
out of my car.
I watched you. I got you on my video camera.
I asked you to get out of my car. That's it.
You're being an asshole to everybody.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Sir, come here. Oh. It's fucking work, brother. Ow. Which hands are hitting up? Fine. What just happened? You got a ankle monitor too, huh? Wow.
Not probation. I'm sure
I'm not on probation.
The probation officer's gonna love that.
I'm not on probation at all.
The officer claimed he detected the odor of marijuana, implying that this gave him the authority to conduct the search. The legality of such searches based on marijuana odor varies across states, and in Colorado, where recreational marijuana is legal, the odor can contribute to probable cause for a search. However, legal nuances exist. Hill confronted Officer Ludwig about the search, leading to a heated argument. The officer's aggressive response escalated the tension instead of employing de-escalation techniques. While Hill's behavior might have prompted concern, it's questionable whether it warranted the officer's level of aggression. Hill was arrested and charged with interference with police activity. These charges were later dropped, but the incident spurred Hill to file a lawsuit against the city of Denver and the involved officers.
Like feet in there. I'm not intoxicated at all.
Go ahead and have a seat in there.
Go for it. Please go for it.
Okay, have a seat.
Y'all are illegally searching my car.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Put your feet up.
ID, bro.
Push yourself all the way back.
Hold.
He alleged violations of his First and Fourth Amendment rights and claimed damages, including missing a master's degree final exam due to his incarceration. Critiques of the officer's conduct centered on several points. Firstly, despite the possible legality of the initial search, the decision to arrest Hill was deemed unnecessary and potentially unconstitutional. Officer Ludwig's unprofessional behavior, particularly his failure to de-escalate the situation, garnered criticism. His confrontational approach escalated the disagreement rather than diffusing it, highlighting the significance of emotional awareness in police interactions. Moreover, the officers faced criticism for their response to Hill's request for medical assistance. According to the Denver Police Department's Operation Manual, officers are required to provide medical attention to individuals in custody. Hill's expression of uncertainty about his injury should have prompted a more compassionate response from the officers, as opposed to the callous indifference displayed. This incident underscores the complexities of police interactions and the importance of effective de-escalation techniques. While the legality of certain actions can be ambiguous, officers should prioritize public safety and citizens' rights. Emotions and situational awareness play crucial roles in determining the outcome of such encounters.